Serious fireballs. That's right. 34 of them were in the sky last night, breaking through our atmosphere at an unprecedented rate. Unbelievable. Matter of fact, we always get a few. I mean, 2, 3, maybe 5, but 34 actual fireballs racing through, coming from space into the Earth's atmosphere, and were reported throughout the globe last night. Also, tomorrow, we have another asteroid. Asteroids! They're going to keep coming. Matter of fact, I'm going this afternoon to hear a presentation on the potential asteroid collisions with Earth and what is planet Earth. What are we doing on planet Earth to prepare for an incoming asteroid collision? What are we doing to try to blow the asteroid up or shoot it out of the sky? Now, this is a presentation that's being given this afternoon. I'll take notes on it. My question simply is, they must know we're in the path. Why are they building all these underground cities? They must know we're in the path, and they got to figure out a way to shoot this thing down or blow it up. It's sort of like the movie Armageddon, but in reality, something's going on. And we know that the huge asteroid Apophis is coming. It's 1,200 meters in diameter. This thing's a huge rock. It's coming in the year 2029. NASA first said, don't worry about it. It's when it comes back 7 years later in the year 2036 that we could have a collision. But now, just recently, within a week, scientists, not just NASA, but other scientists are all saying it is going to be very close. It is extremely close, and they cannot guarantee it won't have a deep impact. So we're going to find out more about that. There's no question we're breaking records of the numbers of asteroids that are approaching. Right now, the near-Earth objects that NASA is watching close, that they've identified and given a name to, is 1,803. And one of those is going to go racing by the Earth tomorrow. And another one will go racing by on Sunday. Really freak storm that hit Japan. It pounded Japan. Unfortunately, at least 3 people are dead, and we're waiting for more information. According to the CrusaderJournal.com, the torrential rains battered the southwestern Japan for a second day, killing 3 people. 100,000 people ordered to evacuate their homes, while thousands of people had to be rescued, some in helicopters, and they're still searching for survivors. The death toll is expected to rise. Now, parts of Fukuoka on the island of Kyushu were hit with 22 inches of rain in 40 hours. This is a downpour of biblical proportion. That's about 1.6 times the amount that usually falls in the entire month of July. Fell in 40 hours. The television's reports are showing military helicopters airlifting stranded residents to safety, houses half submerged in murky waters, landslides destroying, just unbelievable. People said they heard this tremendous rumbling noise. Then the house exploded. A tree burst through the wall into the room. And so it's just insane. The mudslides, the landslides, the flash floods, the high rising tides and floodwaters. And they just know this is a catastrophe, folks, without question. At least 250 people have been rescued, either through boat or helicopter. And the real problem is there's many people missing. So, again, the death toll expected to rise in this horrific situation. Please pray for the people of Japan, as this is a very tragic situation happening unexpectedly in Japan. I'll be back with more current world events and how they relate to biblical prophecy. The Bible did say we would see many apocalyptic events. And we have. This year has been really a year of a lot of flooding, flash floods, landslides, mudslides, and the hurricane season hasn't really even kicked in. So as we go forward, we'll keep our eyes wide open on all this stuff. Earthquakes yesterday, 6.5, killer earthquake there in the Philippines, a 5.8, shaking the ground of Lincoln, Montana. No doubt the super volcano must be awakening in the United States, and we just see all kinds of events going on. 6.5 earthquake that hit the Philippines, and it was only 6.5 kilometers deep, according to the U.S. Geological Survey. So I told you this will cause damage. It has. We have early reports coming in that at least 2 people are dead, 100 people are injured, and those numbers will climb. A building has collapsed. There's still people trapped in this collapsed building, and that's just the initial information we're getting. This strong, very shallow earthquake shook the central portion of the Philippines this morning, just a couple hours ago, leaving at least 2 people dead and injuring over 100 people, and there are still others still trapped in the debris. The U.S. Geological Survey said this 6.5 earthquake struck at a 6.5 kilometer depth, which is 4 miles. But the Filipino seismologists are saying, no, it was only 2 kilometers deep or 1.2 miles deep, and said the quake caused by movement of the Philippine fault was felt strongest in Litit, Kanga town there in the Philippines. The shallow earthquakes generally cause more damage because they're nearer to the Earth's surface. So we knew this was big. This is coming just a few hours, just about 3 hours actually, after the 5.8 earthquake hit in Lincoln, Montana, and has had several aftershocks over 3 and 4 there in Lincoln, Montana. And of course, Lincoln, Montana is 233 miles from Yellowstone National Park. The super volcano's size encompasses Lincoln, Montana. So what we're dealing with here, the fact that Yellowstone, who had a 4.6 earthquake 2 weeks ago and has been followed by over 900 earthquakes in 14 days at Yellowstone, the super volcano is awakening. And this earthquake today in Lincoln, Montana proves that. There's no question we got a problem. That's why NASA's been flying over top of the area with their super ultra infrared telescope that can look down into the depths past the Earth's crust and to study the movement of the molten lava, the magma that's moving in Montana. It's all taking place right now. We're watching it very closely. This is a major quake, though, in the Philippines. And so we're going to be on top of this with the earth shaking and quaking. You know, Jesus said in the last days there would be all kinds of apocalyptic signs that would tell you you're in the last days. For instance, Jesus said there would be false Christ and false prophets would rise and they would deceive many. And you'd hear of wars and rumors of wars. He said, see that you be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass. The end is not yet, for nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. And there would be famines, pestilences, earthquakes in diverse places. He said all these are beginning of sorrows. Now, I did a television show, actually a 2-part show that aired called The 7 Prophetic Earthquakes. It's on my YouTube channel. If you want to Google it and text it, you can search it and find it and watch it. But in which I share with you the 7 quakes that took place during 7 very prophetic times in our history, when major earthquakes hit when God was doing major things. And so anytime you see this kind of activity going on, you got to start asking yourself, what is the Lord trying to say? Jesus said it'd be one of the end time signs, and we're seeing it. Look, there was a major earth-shaking quake when Moses received the 10 Commandments on Mount Sinai. There was a major quake when Jericho came tumbling down for Joshua. There was a major earthquake when Christ died on the cross, and another major earthquake when he rose from the dead. There will be an unbelievable earthquake that will kill as many as 7,000 people when the 2 witnesses have died, and when they raise from the dead. There will be an earthquake that will literally shake Jerusalem and will kill 7,000. And that same quake is mentioned by the prophet Zechariah in the 14th chapter of Zechariah when he says it will split the Mount of Olives in half. Now, we've done research. There is a small fault line that runs right through the Mount of Olives, right into the Temple Mount. So you can look for this to take place. It's Zechariah 14's earthquake. Prophetic earthquake will also be the earthquake of Revelation 11 when the two witnesses raised from the dead and the Lord comes and sets his foot on the Mount of Olives. This is in your Bible, so it's very important. That earthquake has not happened. So there is so many, and there's many other prophetic earthquakes that are so significant. So we watch the quakes daily. For 7.5 years, I've watched them every day. And we got a good handle on what's going on, including, do you guys remember, I covered the 188-day earthquake cycle, that every 188th day there was a major earthquake of over 7.0. It included the 8.2 earthquake in Concepcion, Chile. It then was there was this major quake that hit Christchurch, New Zealand, 7.4, killed about 146 people. And then we had the 9.0 earthquake that killed thousands, 26,000 after a massive tsunami in Fukushima, Japan. Those all hit on boom. This one, Chile, 188 days later. Christchurch, New Zealand, 188 days later. Japan, and then it went on 188 days later. Fiji, and then went right on. 7 consecutive times. So earthquakes, prophetic signs. Now we're looking at these earthquakes that are happening, shaking things up. We got to really we're going to be all over this today. So don't you dare miss today's live broadcast. Starts at 12 noon Eastern. That's 12 noon Eastern at my website at www.paulbegleyprophecy.com. I'll see you this afternoon. Are you serious?